Sam Lombarda, an attractive college psychologist in a small Florida town. One appearance of a man in the building of an educational institution causes increased interest in him from young female students and women. The school year is coming to an end, and most couples are already behind. Therefore, today Sam decided to devote a lecture to sexual violence, giving the floor to detectives Ray Duckett and his assistant Gloria Perez. Susie is not going to listen to the speech of a policeman who crossed the line of the law and took the life of her friend a couple of years ago. The student defiantly leaves, causing everyone surprise. As it turned out, she is also far from ideal and even spent 6 months in prison for using illegal substances. In fact, Gloria is not interested in this information, because the detective's assistant thinks about Sam's strong hands and dreams of being in them. A little later, Sam conducts courses on yacht management, as he is obsessed with this and lives the dream of becoming the owner of a large 50-foot vessel. Poor student Jimmy does not have such money, but he is ready to wash yachts to study with a teacher. Kelly Van Ryan is a local beauty and a terribly spoiled student who lives in a big way. Having fallen in love with a charming teacher, the girl tries to attract attention to herself and asks to take her home. Along the way, Sam invites Susie to join them, but the middle finger makes it clear that she is not enthusiastic about this idea. Upon arrival, Kelly is disappointed, as she realized that her hot mom Sarah is too familiar with Sam and clearly spent more than one night with him. A couple of days later, Kelly and her friend Nicole come to visit the teacher to wash and polish his Jeep. On the threshold, they meet Barbara Baxter, the daughter of a wealthy lawyer, and realizes that he is in a relationship with her. Kelly tries to contain her anger and engages in work, doing it as effectively and sexually as possible. After washing the teacher's car, she asks her friend to leave to try to have some privacy with Sam. A man sees a wet beauty and understands why she wants to. Soon, a girl in a torn t-shirt hurriedly leaves the teacher's house. The next morning, Sarah makes love to her gardener Frankie and is forced to answer the college principal's call. It turned out that Kelly was not in class, and she hurriedly goes in search of her. When mother and daughter meet, Sarah finds out that Sam took the girl by force. They immediately go to the police station, where Kelly confesses. Gloria is skeptical of the girl's words and suggests that she slandered the teacher to avenge his lack of interest. Sam instantly loses the trust of students and colleagues, as many accuse him of a terrible crime. The director is afraid for the reputation of the college and, despite friendly relations, to suspend the teacher from work. Realizing that local lawyers are afraid of wealthy Sarah, Sam turns to an eccentric lawyer, Kenneth Bowden. He convinces the lawyer that he did not commit a crime and did not touch Kelly. At the same time, Sam's relationship with others continues to deteriorate, as influential lawyer Tom Baxter protects him from his daughter Barbara. The most difficult life trials fall on a man like an avalanche. In the evening, the disappointed teacher decides to have a little drink and relax. Upon returning home, he notices that he is being chased by a black SUV. The chase was short-lived, as the gardener cut Sam off, causing him to fly off the road into the lake. Frankie decided to personally punish the man who used the hostess's daughter, and beat him. The next morning Kenneth came home to the defendant and saw that he was afraid and met the guests with a harpoon in his hands. The lawyer offered to go to court, but Sam understands that all this is useless. The detectives meet with Susie, and the girl reports that Sam took advantage of her a year ago. All this time she was silent and afraid to confess, but now he can be imprisoned, and she wants to help the investigation. 2 statements are more than enough for Sam to be immediately sent to jail before the court's decision. A couple of days later, the first meeting takes place, during which Kelly makes a touching speech. 12 jurors and the judge believe the sincerity of the victim. Kenneth is powerless against the testimony of the unfortunate Kelly, but before a decision is made, you need to listen to Susie. The second performance of a student who suffered at the hands of a sexual maniac is less convincing. Kenneth uses facts from the girl's biography, according to which she treated the teacher as a friend, and asked for help even after the so-called incident. The lawyer puts pressure on Susie, and at some point she confesses that she and Sam had nothing. Moreover, she claims that she wanted to take revenge on the teacher, as he betrayed their friendship, as a result of which she ended up behind bars. Susie also tells that Kelly is also lying to get revenge on Sam, who chose an elderly student for carnal pleasures, and her rich mother. Kelly realizes that everything has collapsed, and angrily throws a glass at the student, which once again proves Sam's innocence. According to the results of the court hearing, the teacher is acquitted and released, and Kelly miraculously escapes punishment for libel under oath. The girl is saved only by an experienced lawyer, Tom, and Sarah's money, who paid the court for it. A couple of days later, Kenneth meets with Sarah and Kelly's lawyer, demanding financial compensation for the damaged reputation of the client. Sam gets $9 million and quits his job. At the university, Kelly lashes out at a man with threats, promising to deal with him as soon as possible. In the evening, Sam returns home and sees Kelly hiding something under a towel. The girl's threats quickly fade away, and it turns out that she, Susie, and Sam, lovers who were in cahoots and came up with all this to legally rob rich mom Kelly. Rejoicing at the victory, they passionately kiss and make love in threesomes. Ray examines Sam's financial accounts and sees that the former bankrupt bought a yacht for $160,000 and a plot on a small private island. Digging into an already closed case, the detective assumes that Kelly, Sam, and Susie, accomplices of a financial scam, and decides to follow them. First of all, he communicates with Kelly, but the girl does not betray her emotions. In the evening, he visits the more suggestible Susie, who takes forbidden substances. Ray tells the girl that they can get rid of her, since she is an extra link. Susie begins to fear that the detective is right, and calls Sam, and then goes to Kelly. Ray follows the girls and sees their quarrel, during which the students first try to drown each other, and then kiss and make love. The next morning, the detective shows the recording to the police chief, but he demands that Ray stop digging in dirty laundry and shoot adult videos. There is no evidence of his assumption. The case is closed, which means we need to leave the trio alone. The boss lets Sam go and forbids Ray to approach him. The detective still suspects the former teacher and asks the assistant to follow him. In the evening, Sam, Susie, and Kelly meet on a deserted beach. At some point, the man asks Sarah's daughter to bring a blanket and a film from the trunk of the car. At the same time, he gets rid of Susie by hitting the girl on the head several times with a bottle of champagne. The couple gets rid of the body by throwing it into a lake with crocodiles, and covers up the traces of the crime. In the morning, the policeman finds out about Susie's disappearance and communicates with her grandmother. He saw that Kelly was washing a dirty SUV, and suspects that she is involved in the disappearance of her mistress. Jimmy points to the place where Susie liked to relax. Here Ray finds traces of blood and teeth that could belong to a girl. Gloria, at the detective's request, follows Sam, assuming that Kelly. Next on his list of victims, Sam notices the surveillance and invites the woman to his place to give her a dossier on Kelly, which reports that she is far from a saint and could get rid of Susie on her own. As soon as a taxi pulls up to the house, the former teacher seduces the detective's assistant and hurriedly leaves, since she has no evidence against him. Ray arrives at Sarah's house to talk to her daughter. He knows that the teeth and blood belonged to Susie, so he decides to protect Kelly. At the meeting, the girl offers armed resistance, as a result of which the detective shoots her twice in the chest. The mother witnesses the nightmare and screams in horror. Soon the internal investigation comes to an end, and Ray is fired without the right to recovery and pension provision. This is the second puncture of the detective, and in a good way he should be sent to jail, but the management felt sorry for a good employee. A little later, Ray and Sam meet in a bungalow on a private island, and it becomes clear that they are accomplices. The former detective demands his share, but suddenly reports that he needs to wait a couple of days for a response from the bank. In order not to sit in the room, the men go on a boat trip. On board the yacht, Sam asks Ray to help pull the sail and drops it into the water as soon as the opportunity arises. The former detective manages to grab the rope and climbs back out to deal with his partner, who decided to throw him. Susie, who is actually alive, gets into the quarrel of the men. The girl takes revenge on the detective for the death of a comrade and shoots him twice with a carp, sending Ray overboard. Susie and Sam celebrate their victory and decide to have a little drink. At some point, the man realizes that he was not afraid of female treachery in vain, since the contents of his glass are poisoned. As soon as he got up, Susie decided to finally knock Sam out and hit him on the head with a ray. Meanwhile, the detective's assistant meets with Susie's grandmother and finds out that she is not her own. Mr. Van Ryan was a terrible womanizer, and a girl, his daughter, Sarah, her stepsister, and Kelly, niece. Now the assistant detective understands that the girl pulled off a brilliant crime in order to take possession of the money rightfully belonging to her. In addition, Susie is very smart, showed good results on tests, and she had her own yacht, which she coped with perfectly. Meanwhile, the girl left town and met Kenneth on the beach to pick up her money. She left part of it to the lawyer for her work, and sent another $1 million to her foster grandmother in gratitude for her upbringing. And that's where the movie ends. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss new videos. Put likes and share your impressions of the movie in the comments. See you soon and bye to everyone.